sorts, a representative, and I feel real confident that there's no problem with that one.
Impact on your team?
Oh, I think, you know, first of all, the rumor mill, and then, you know, I had a meeting and gave them the story as to what we have right now, and just mentioned that Damon Huard would be the backup quarterback, and they're concerned about a teammate, they're concerned about forfeiture, so we discussed that, and so I don't, this should have no impact on the game at all.
Now, the key element here in this forfeiture matter is whether or not the Washington Huskies followed the rules, and the rules require them to advise the compliance people at the university of Hobart's desire to obtain a loan, and from then on, it's up to the compliance people and Hobart, and all of those steps have been followed according to Don James. John?
All right, Keith, we'll get back out.
The majestic saguaro cactus, principal resident of the Sonoran Desert surrounding the city of Tucson, Arizona, where during the vivid summer monsoons you have more lightning strikes than any place in the West. Well, today, from the stadium in the heart of Tucson on the campus of the University of Arizona, ABC's college football will bring you some autumnal fireworks. A Pac-10 matchup between the top-ranked Washington Huskies and the University of Arizona Wildcats. And it's worth noting, as you look at the Pac-10 standings, only Washington can control its own destiny. In fact, the Huskies could lose a football game and still take the ticket to the Rose Bowl. As we pull back from the mountains surrounding the city of Tucson, and Bob Greasy and I are standing outside in the warm sun, it's about 75 degrees. Bob, if there was ever a football game in the history of the sport where special teams and defense will probably decide it, this is one.
Usually what it gets down to, and two great special teams here, but also two of the finest defenses you're going to find in the country. Nationally, they rank second in scoring defense, and they are both in the top 5 in turnover margin. They take the ball away a lot. But the key today, for me, is the Arizona offense. They're 9th passing in the Pac-10. They are 8th in total offense. Can they move the ball on Washington defensively?
Not many people have. What about this Hobart thing now? You think that impacts the Huskies at all?
I don't think it'll affect them all unless Brunell goes down with an injury.
Now, this game is going to be heard and echo a lot in the cities like Tuscaloosa and Ann Arbor and College Station, Texas, and Tuscaloosa, Alabama. It's homecoming here at the University of Arizona. Very festive. This series has been a short one because Arizona and Arizona State only joined the Pac-10 Conference in 1978. Suppose you could find a better day to play a game of football. The wind is a mere zephyr. The temperature is very comfortable at 76 degrees, and the humidity is almost non-existent. When number 1 comes to town, you get a big house. The stadium is full. Number 8's Napoleon Kaufman. Number 42 is Jay Barry. They're running backs for the Huskies. Number 10 is Jay Kirchhoff. He will kick it off for the Arizona Wildcats. This by far their biggest crowd of the season. And the game is on, played on Mother Earth, real grass. It's way back into the end zone. There will be no return. The Huskies will bring the football out to the 20, and it'll come out with left-hander Mark Brunell at quarterback. Brunell, the senior from Santa Maria, California, 13-2 as a starter, and he has an MVP from the Rose Bowl hanging on his wall. Lining up behind him in the die-hard starting lineup will be Napoleon Kaufman, the tailback, who was electrifying a week ago against the Stanford Cardinal. Matt Jones will be at fullback. Joe Kralik, his health is better. Damon Barry opens it wide out, and Mark Groner's your tight end. And the Huskies come out in the eye. They send Kaufman in motion, leaving Jones the remaining back. And Jones is pelted down behind the line of scrimmage by Rob Waldrop, the nose tackle for the Arizona Wildcats, that his coach, Dick Tomey, says is one of the best he's ever seen.
It's going to be a key matchup. Number 92 in dark blue beats the cutoff block of number 66 and gets in to make the tackle. Waldrop is outstanding.
He was gone by Gallagher before Tom could get a shoulder on him. Jason Shelley checks in, second down, 11, and the crowd is in it from the get-go. Brunell's pass quickly popped over to number 21 and completed to Damon Barry. Barry is hit down just across the 25. The The offensive unit for Washington, led by Lincoln Kennedy, the big guy, number 75 at 325 pounds. And in this furious assault by the Arizona defense, the offensive front's going to have to play well for Washington today. This is the Arizona team that lost by a point to Miami in Miami. It is 3rd down and 5 for the Huskies. Here's a little move toward the option. Penalty flags down as Napoleon Kaufman turns the corner. Goes down the sidelines. There should be a face mask, but I don't see a flag. Yes, there is. There's a face mask call at the end of it. So you got a foul on Arizona for being in the neutral zone, I think, for starting the play. And then you have the face mask call at the end of the run by Kaufman. But that little move of option play froze the Arizona defensive people just long enough for Kaufman with his great speed to get outside. Chuck McFerrin is the referee.
Outsides, defense declined. 5-yard face mask. Defense 5 yards at the end of the run.
So they accept the penalty at the end of the run, and the Huskies come away with a big play.
Key play right there, though, Keith, is the choice of plays. It's 3rd and 5, your first possession of the game, and you go to an option. Larry McDuff, the defensive coordinator for Arizona, was concerned about Washington and Brunell running the option. They said they've run it 58 times in 8 games, and they have gotten a lot of big plays off the option, as you saw the face mask right there.
From the 42 of Arizona, pitch it to Jay Barry, and Barry is hit down right about the line of scrimmage, and you've got another penalty flag. Number 48, Brant Boyer, one of the inside linebackers, made the stop on Barry. Penalty is against Washington. The defensive alignment for the Arizona Wildcats, and it's a furious crop. We saw Waldrop make a big play already, but all 4 of those people up front are tough and quick. The backers are also very good. Lee Boyer Harris is the leader of that group. And the defensive secondary, they have no inhibitions about bellying up to a wide out and playing man on him. And they do it well, in particular Sanders, the safety.
And the 2 corners, Keith, have got to be good players, too, because a lot of man coverage. Arizona is aggressive. They'll send 4, 5 guys, sometimes 6. You've got to have good corners.
The holding penalty moves Washington back now to their own side of midfield, back to the 44-yard line. Brunell's pass is away. He had to get rid of it in a hurry. Shelley was out there, but he could not deliver it to him because there were big people in dark shirts in his face. Call it 2nd down and 24. Remember, the holding penalties are enforced from the point of the foul. That's why you have the uneven number on it. 13 minutes to go in the first quarter of play. There is no score. And this game bears mightily on national championship, if you will, as well as the Rose Bowl. They run it with Kaufman. And the quick one goes to midfield, picked up 6 yards on the carry. It is still 3rd and very long. 3rd and 18.
That's 33 yards rushing already for Kaufman. The earlier run by Kaufman was the longest run against Arizona all year. 33 yards. We've hardly started the ball game. Arizona only gives up an average of 55 yards rushing per game.
Kralik, number 9, has come into the ball game for the Huskies. Joe Kralik, a possession receiver. Brunell back, looking for time, gets his pass off and throws it into the seats. Incomplete, and the Huskies will punt. There is a penalty flag, 2 of them, as a matter of fact, just across midfield. Southern Miss giving the Florida Gators a lot of trouble today. The Gators coming off their big win against the Georgia Bulldogs. The penalties against Washington.
Ineligible downfield on a forward pass by the offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
So the Huskies will have to punt it away now as the Arizona defense does its job, and they go off the field sky high. Terry Vaughn, who is a wide receiver, comes in for John Werdell's punt. The grass here at Arizona Stadium was transplanted from the fairways of the Tucson National Golf Club, and it's first class.
And it is fast.
Werdell standing back at his 35 will hit it at the 39. It's a low punt, comes skittering back to him, but he gets it away. 15-yard line for Vaughn, missed by one, pinned in by another, and taken down at the 19. It'll be first down Arizona after a 35-yard punt and a 4-yard return. Arizona Wildcats' first possession of the ball game will come from their own 19-yard line with George Malaulu. How long has it been, or how many times have you ever seen a football game where both the quarterbacks were left-handed?
I can't ever remember one. And a left-footed punter.
Malaulu sets him up, and they spread him out with 3 wideouts, turns and gives the ball to Antoine Carter. And Carter will pick up about 3 yards on the carry. Checking the diehard starting lineup now as we show you Malaulu. He scored 15 touchdowns running and the same number passing. And if he gets in a little trouble, gets a little heat on him, he'll pull it down and run it. Key man may very well be today Billy Johnson. The tailbacks have run for a lot of yards. They are principal people, to be sure. But Johnson's ability to run inside may be the key, because the coaching staff feel that they can, if they can run inside against Washington, they got a chance. That's a tight end in the backfield as a blocker, and his presence was not amplified by that particular play.
They ran inside, and they didn't get much.
DeMarco Farr just was sitting waiting for him, and just he and Hoffman decked him right there. Hisham El Mastoub is the center. He's the leader of that offensive front. He is a Lebanese French Canadian. Monsieur. Ball is on the 20. And it is 3rd down and 9 as Chuck Levy checks into the backfield for Arizona. Levy is number 4. He's got the ball, goes to the right side, runs to the boundary and runs out of bounds, as Shane Paukoa would have none of it for the Huskies, and it'll be punting time for the Arizona Wildcats. The Washington defensive unit plays very well in its first exposure to this Arizona Stadium crowd, and they took a little bit of the zing out of the holler. Josh Miller is one of the outstanding punters in the country. Napoleon Kaufman, you know all about him if you watched last week. He is just absolutely dynamite at returning kicks. Miller is averaging just under 43 yards per punt on the season. He's the left footer that Bob spoke of. Booms it out of there. High hanging kick. Napoleon Kaufman fumbles the football. It is kicked. It is rolling inside the 5. It is cut. Put down at the 4-yard line by Heath Gray, the backup quarterback. A high-hanging kick. Napoleon Kaufman didn't handle it, and the ball was kicked by one of the Huskies and retouched by Arizona, and the ball is placed, as we told you, on the 4-yard line. 1st and goal, Arizona Wildcats, and that's the first big play by special teams.
Well, he's looking into the sun. He muffs the ball. You cannot advance a muff. Heath Gray, number 14, who else, recovers it. You cannot advance it, but they get it inside the 5-yard line. Heath Gray is the backup quarterback, was a starting safety and linebacker for the last 2 years, and he makes a lot of big plays on special teams.
1st and goal, Arizona. Levy lines up at the tailback position. You got a tight end there to block for him. They give it to Levy, and he is taken down a yard short of the line of scrimmage, and I mean, he is taken down hard. It is Jaime Fields slamming into him. The Washington defense lines up with Fontaine at a big ball game last week. Young Steve Hoffman, Farr and Mason are veterans. The linebackers are outstanding. Hoffman, Clifford, and Fields, and the secondary as well. So it is 2nd down and goal. The ball comes back to the 6-yard line. There was a loss of 2 yards on Levy's carry. Billy Johnson is back in there with him right now. Back goes Mala'ulu. He's going to the outside. Andy Mason's after him. Mason misses him, and the Huskies chase him out of bounds. They were able to use the boundary. Andy Mason almost had him back around the 15-yard line. But he gets the ball to the 3. So Mala'ulu showing you his running ability.
And Mason doing a nice job. This is a big test, an early test for Washington defensively to come out here and try to stop after a sudden change. A big turnover gets Arizona down inside in scoring position.
3rd down and goal from the 3. Chuck Levy's in at quarterback. Levy, the option quarterback, the running back. And penalty flag stopped the play. So they try to go to the option. Levy came to school as an option quarterback and probably would play there if something were to happen to Mala'ulu. And he went in at that position, and that's about the 4th time we've seen people try that this year, and it's yet to work. And it didn't work here.
Dead ball. False start. Offense.
That'll back Arizona up 5.
Still 3rd down.
Huskies don't have a choice of taking or receiving. Dead ball called, so it comes back 5.
Levy is Dick Tomey's quarterback. He started 4 games last year. In fact, played the quarterback position in the big win against USC. He was an outstanding quarterback in high school. Take a look here. Washington, what they've done. 10 giveaways, only 7 points the defense has allowed this year.
Mala'ulu is back in there at quarterback now as they go to the standard eye, and he comes left with it, turns it inside. A lot of people there. Drops the football. Huskies recover it. Arizona comes away empty as Josh Moore covers the football. Big, huge series for the Washington defense.
There is no question that the dominant 11 players on the field right now are the ones in the white shirt. They are dominant, aggressive players, and Arizona offensively has some real questions. Mala'ulu lets the ball slip from his hand as he attempts to throw it. And this team is 2nd in the nation in turnover margin, and they just get another one.
And they take over the ball 1st down at their own 14-yard line with Kaufman lined up at tailback. And he gets it. And he gets a lick as he crosses the 15-yard line. But the Arizona defense, Bob, is everything advertised. I mean, they're a bunch of tough guys. Waldrop and Jim Hoffman on that play. They fly around to the ball, and that has become a trademark of virtually all the defenses in the Pac-10 this year.
That's for sure. They are dominant. They lead in a lot of the defensive categories in the Pac-10, does Arizona.
Call it 2nd down and 9. Brunell throws to Shelley. Shelley's over there, diving for the marker, won't get there. He's going to be about a yard short. Daryl Mason covering on the play for Morrison covering for Arizona.
Here's a look at the Wildcats defensively in the Pac-10. They're 1st in total defense, run defense, interceptions, 3rd down denials, and scoring defense. They're tied with Washington, and they're 2nd against the pass. Not too shabby.
Third down, call it 2. Kaufman has the 1st down. He just put his head down and took off for the sidelines and beat the marker by a yard, and we check in now with Jack Arute.
Keith, both Washington and the University of Miami have one common opponent. That's the Arizona Wildcats. Now, you remember that game? That's the game that was won by Miami by 1 point. Well, Rusty Medeiros, the outstanding defensive end, went down in that game. And what he did is he received a get well message from the Arizona Wildcats. He wrote a message back to them thanking them and say, if you play with the same spirit, you could beat them today, the Washington Huskies.
Little lob over the middle to Matt Jones, the fullback, and Jones will get it up to about the 30, and that's a pickup of close to 5 yards. Incidentally, to go on with what Jack was talking about, the last time a team played 2 #1 teams in the same season was 1984. Michigan beat Miami during the regular season 22-14, and then lost to BYU in the Holiday Bowl, and that was the year BYU went 13-0.
And you can be sure that most of the Hurricanes are watching this ball game because they are off this week. They're watching this game down in Miami.
Second down, long 5. Arizona's in the neutral dome. That's a 5-yard call against them. Free play for the Huskies. And not much of a gain on it, so they'll take the penalty. We know we've got offside. Let's see if there's another one. Well, Chuck McFerrin's going to check with everybody before he comes out here and makes the call.
Offsides, defense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Both flags for the same infraction. So accept the penalty, move it up to the 35-yard line, make it second down and a half-yard for Washington.
Huskies offensively in the Pac-10. Not too bad. 7th in passing offense. They like to run rather than throw it.
Hoffman has the first down as Napoleon Nip, they call him, goes to the 40-yard line. And it's first down for Washington. The adrenaline now is starting to slow down a little bit.
92 is Waldrop. It's a nice job being blocked there by Peterson. He is a key. He'll be double teamed a lot today. He comes in 8 sacks on the year.
He's a 274-pound junior from Phoenix. On first down, Brunell drops straight back. Has some daylight. Runs it up to the 45-yard line, and he is brought down by number 18, Brandon Sanders, the strong safety, playing on this side. Monday night, ABC's NFL football. The West, a couple of old rivals there with the Atlanta Falcons and San Francisco 49ers. Both teams have been dinged up a little bit. Chris Miller is out for the Falcons, quarterback for the season. Steve Young had trouble with the flu last week, but I'm sure he'll be all right. It'll be at 9 Eastern, ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. Brunell punts it, throws it, it's got a man over there, pass caught by Kralik, and it's on the Arizona side of the field and out of bounds at the Wildcats' 37-yard line. And Joe Kralik was all by himself.
He's going to get wide open. He's going to go down, break to the outside. The receiver, they cross. Then the corner that was outside comes in. If this ball would have been thrown shorter and he'd been able to catch it and run, there was nobody out there with him.
They had 6, and Brunell trying to get outside, got some pressure, and had a little trouble getting it away. Jay Barry is the tailback in this formation. They hand it to the up man, the big fullback, and Matt Jones takes it to the 30. That's a lot of yards on first down running plays. He picked up about 7 right there. Let's pause 5 seconds so our ABC stations can identify themselves.
This is KOMO TV4 Seattle.
We have no score. University of Arizona campus in Tucson. Second down and 3 for the top-ranked Washington Huskies against the Arizona Wildcats, who are hungry for a big bite out of somebody. No gain on that carry as the pressure came inside from number 68, Teddy Bruschi. Bruschi is a redshirt freshman from Roseville, California, and he's into the secondary, into the backfield to make the play. Washington picked up so far in this first quarter with 5 minutes to go, 55 yards. So you can see the Huskies are finding some room to run, but then after all, there's a reason why they're ranked #1 in the country.
Interesting graphic right there.
Third down and 3. Option with Brunell, turning back the other way, and no place to go. When he turned back, he ran into Jim Hoffman. Bruschi was there. He saw him. Hoffman was coming from the blind side and took away the escape route, and it'll bring up 4th down. There was a loss of a couple of yards on the play. Brunell is still on the field.
Let's go ahead and run this. Run it down the line a little bit. Let me show you something. The reason this doesn't work is there's 2 men outside. Now, stop it right there. You can see there's 2 men out here that he's looking at. If there's 2 men outside the option, that's why he takes it back the other way.
Huskies are going to go for it on 4th down and 5. Brunell's pass is thrown incomplete. It is off the hands of Krolik. Krolik went down past the marker, was not able to break it off sharply enough and come back to the ball, and Brunell couldn't get it to him. And so Arizona takes over, and this time they've got pretty good field position to start the possession. Their own 32. Wildcats in the blue shirts, the home team, come out here. No score in the ball game. They've gained 2 yards so far, but then they've only had it once, really, except for that goal line effort down there. And penalty before the play. Well, we've got a penalty coming up here. Chuck's getting a lot of airtime in this first quarter.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. Scoreboard penalty, still first down.
Go back to that last play for Washington on 4th down. I think it was a smart play by Don James, but watch how Krolik rounds into his route right here. He drifts downfield. The quarterback was expecting him to break straight out. But Johnson, number 8, the cornerback, is very good at covering one-on-one. He was throwing it to the safe side. Bad route by Krolik.
3rd penalty called against Arizona. It is now 1st down and 15 as the ball comes back to the 27, and Malauulu's pass completed to the tight end. The tight end is belted out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Richard Griffith made the catch, but he was not able to get back to the original line of scrimmage. Jaime Fields, number 3, who is a 230-pound. He's put on a goodly bit of weight in the last year, but he can still run.
4'5".
He laid a lick on him.
4'5". Formerly a defensive back that just put on some weight.
Antoine Carter and Billy Johnson now in the backfield for Arizona. 2nd down and 11. Ball given to Carter. Works his way through some traffic. Gets up to the 35, and Jamal Fontaine belts him upside the head as he gets to about the 35-yard line. Tomorrow on ABC Sports, figure skating's champions, young stars on the ice, special performances, exhibition by Brian Bortano, Sudafed Skate America International. In John Daly, Craig Stadler go up to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho with golf's big hitters, a 9-hole Merrill Lynch shootout. Tomorrow here on ABC Sports. Chuck Levy checks into the backfield. Not at quarterback, however. Malauulu is there. He drops straight back, wants to throw, can't do it. Down he goes. Manhandled by DeMarco Farr, number 75. And so Arizona will punt. The philosophy of Dick Tomey: don't make foolish mistakes. Don't give the opportunities away. Punt the ball well, work for field position, and when you get it, cash it in. Well, they've missed one chance already of cashing it in.
His key word was patience. Just be patient. 3 and out's all right.
Penalty flags are down. Miller's kick is away, and let's see what the call is. There was enough movement along the front. It can go either way.
Dick Tomey, very conservative. Wants his offense, first of all, not turn the ball over. He knew he'd have to be patient against this Washington defense.
I would imagine this time if Kaufman looks up into that high sky, and no, they pick up the flags on it. If Kaufman looks up into that high sky, this time it doesn't see a clear football, then he's going to get away from it. Stands deep. He's very deep, about 3 yards more than normal. Knocks it out of there, and Kaufman watches it go over his head and watches it go into the end zone. Bob Griese mentioned a moment ago, it's a very fast track down there, and that ball ricocheted off of it just like it was a rug, and it turns it into a 68-yard punt. Washington had their first unbeaten and untied record since 1915. They have never had 2 in a row. Don James trying to make it 2 in a row, trying to become the first coach in West Coast history to win 3 straight Rose Bowls.
Washington has dominated. We mentioned Arizona offensively is just don't make any mistakes. Wait for your defense and special teams.
First down at the 20 for the Huskies. Kaufman trying to make a cut, coming back over to this side, slips down. Brandon Sanders, the strong safety for Arizona, was pursuing Kaufman in the Washington backfield. He was utterly, totally committed to safety, so there was a hole somewhere in that secondary. Right down the middle is where it was. Big upset brewing there with TCU in Texas. Brunell straight back. Has time. Lets it go. Incomplete. That is a very good defensive play by the linebacker, Sean Harris, who came up and hit the fullback, Matt Jones, just as the ball arrived. Very good play by Harris.
Harris is the middle linebacker, leads this team in tackles, and he is big, 6'3" and 239 pounds. And quick.
It is 3rd and 10 from the 20 for Washington. Protection is a little better this time. The pass is thrown to Matt Jones, picks up 8 yards. It'll be 4th down. They're 2 yards short of the first down. And they'll have to punt it.
Trying to get Matt Jones working on the linebacker, Harris. Smart play, just was too long for the play. With 9 yards needed, only picked up 8.
Vaughn going back. Bruce Bailey, the snapper, slid the last one back to Werdell. Let's see if he can get it back cleanly this time. Werdell's punt was 35 yards. His first one. This is a better snap, and it's a better kick. High hanger. Fair catch is called by Vaughn at the Arizona 34-yard line. Where it'll be first down. No score in the first quarter of play. We've got 1:02 to go in the first quarter. The 2 punts by Werdell, 35 and 38, but that one was a high hanger. You can live with 38, 39-yard punts if they're never returned.
Well, but you're losing distance to Josh Miller.
Well, that's true.
Right down the road here.
Then he's exceptional. And that last one's not a true reflection either, where it went over his head and bounced 30 yards. 34-yard line. Mala'ulu comes up with Chuck Levy, the tailback, and Billy Johnson in front of him at fullback. Huskies show a 5-man front, give it to the fullback, and that's a 3-yard pickup. "76 degrees as we came inside to start the ball game. It'll be warmer than that down on the field, but probably not terribly uncomfortable because of the low humidity."
To look at the play clock, Arizona likes to take its time offensively. Let's see how they do.
Levy.
6 seconds to go.
He tripped over his tight end, Griffith. Number 85 was effecting the block, and as he cut back inside, he tripped over his legs.
One of the things that Arizona likes to do offensively is slow the game down. Now, they do it mainly when they're ahead and a lot of times in the second half. But one of the things that Miami felt like earlier in the year is Arizona was trying to take time off the clock, shorten the game, and Dick Tomey says, yeah, our strength is defense and special teams.
When we come back in a scoreless ball game, we want to show you Vince Smith, the right tackle for Arizona. He's in the game at 360 pounds. Vince Smith, number 72 for the Arizona Wildcats, senior out of Los Angeles, California. He does take up some room. He's the right tackle.
He's got pretty good feet, too. He can move.
6'3", 360. 6'5". 360. Mala'ulu back. Pressure coming. Passes away. Pass is caught. He got in front of Josh Moore, Troy Dickey, big guy at 221 pounds, and he leaned into the ball and made the catch.
Dickey had single coverage on the outside. Washington sent 6 people, man-to-man coverage, and if you got time to throw it, you're going to get some good situations on the corners.
So it's first down for the Wildcats at the Washington 48. Second time today they've been on Husky soil, but really the first time today that they have taken it and marched it offensively across there. Last time it was the muff punt and the recovery. Mala'ulu calls timeout to talk about things here early in the second quarter, and we are still scoreless. Attendance today, 58,510, second largest in Arizona Stadium history, just 5 short of the all-time record set in 1982 between Arizona and Arizona State. And in motion is Vaughn. Mala'ulu lets it go. The pass is incomplete. The pass intended for number 84, Troy Dickey. He just put it up trying to let him run under it, and he had to get rid of it rather quickly because Farr was about to eat him up.
First quarter stats, Arizona did hardly anything. 10 yards of total offense. On the other hand, yards rushing for Washington, 54 yards. Arizona only gives up on an average 55 a game. They lead the nation in run defense, but not today.
Second down and 10 from the Washington 48. Handed off inside to Billy Johnson. And Dave Hoffman, 54, and Steve Hoffman, his younger brother, 91, make the tackle for Washington. The Hoffman brothers, David, a senior, and one of the prime candidates for the Butkus Award given to linebackers, and he fits the mold. He plays inside.
He's led this team in tackles the last 2 years as Hoffman.
Third down and 6. Mala'ulu goes up the middle with it, can't get away. The man on the tackle is Jamal Fontaine, who had a big ball game against Stanford, and he's having another good one today. So the Arizona Wildcats will send them the kicker, Josh Miller. The Pac-10 today, all of them going a little later. We're in the Mountain Standard Time Zone here in Tucson. And California and Oregon. Oregon had a big win last week, beating Washington State in Pullman. Beat them roundly, too. Miller's punt is a high hanger. Arizona slaps it down and covers it back around the 13-yard line. Coughlin was back there, but decided since he was surrounded by Wildcats, he would not mess with it. So the Huskies take over at their 13. They call it A Mountain. It's really Sentinel Peak, but back in 1914, they put that big A up there. And it took several weeks to get it all done. 6 horse teams carrying them rocks and mortar. Finished it in 1916, cost $400. And ever since then, the incoming freshman class goes up and whitewashes it at the beginning of the fall season. Napoleon Kaufman, the tailback. Richard Thomas, the fullback. It is Thomas, the fullback. And he comes up close to the 20-yard line.
The fumble?
It looked like the ball might have been rolling around, but nobody got excited about it. It must have been because Jim Neville, number 52, scooped up the loose ball in a hurry. This is another one of those stadiums where you almost need an oxygen mask, so I better get out my long glasses. They built this one straight up. On second down, Brunell pitches to Kaufman. He has no place to go. He gets just about the line of scrimmage. He's taken down by Rob Waldrop and Charlie Kemp.
Arizona defensively, they do something a little different. Look at the man right over here. This is Jarrett, number 88. See how he's off the line of scrimmage just a little bit? Now watch as the play develops. He'll either charge or drop off. He is a linebacker that has to be accounted for. He doesn't make the play there, but it fouls up the blocking. Very unusual defense.
On 3rd and 4, Brunell looking to throw. Has a problem. Back around his goal line. Lets it go now. And it is incomplete. Almost intercepted by number 27, Daryl Morrison. Jason Shelley was the intended receiver. Young Shelley was downfield and had not come back to the ball trying to help his quarterback. If he had come back, they could have made the play work.
That is exactly right. A young receiver needs to come back, especially when your quarterback is under pressure. 3 plays and out. You're going to see that a lot here this afternoon.
Vaughn comes back to accept the punt from Wardell. You've got 10 Wildcats up on the line of scrimmage. They're going after him.
Yep, this is one of their strengths. Offense is not. Special teams is.
Pat Jones, the blocker in the backfield, counts concerts. They're all there. Wardell's kick is out of there. And not too bad up at the 41-yard line. Vaughn accepts it. And will go down. It's a good tough return by Vaughn. He got almost to the 48-yard line. 39-yard punt and a 7-yard return, and here's Jack.
Keith, last week when Washington manhandled the Stanford team, the offensive tackle, Lincoln Kennedy, had on his wrist something to prove, those words. The team brought that up as a chant all week in practice. They feel they do have something to prove. In fact, they know this is a critical game if they hope to be voted the national champions going into the bowl weeks. Now, what they've done is they feel they have to win this game by more than 1 point.
Well, they haven't scored any yet. Scoreless ball game. Malaulu gives that ball to Antoine Carter. And Carter gets it across midfield. He just slid in behind his left guard, Eric Johnson, and the center, Mashtub. El Mashtub. The Florida Gators came back to beat Southern Miss. They trailed most of that game, but they finally pulled it out. 2nd down and 6 for Arizona. Carter and Lamont Levitt. Lovett steps in front of him in the fullback position. Carter has it, falls over Lovett, and Dave Hoffman, number 54, is the man there to bugger up the play with some help from D'Amico Fawn. So they're going to be looking at 3rd and 7, losing a yard there.
All right, you're on the offense. Look what you're running against. Look at the number of players defensively right here. You've got 1 man out here covering the lone wide receiver, and you've got 10 defensive guys in here trying to stop the run. That's what Arizona is going to be looking at all afternoon.
Levy is in the backfield at tailback. Malaulu. Andy Mason's after him, and this time Andy got him.
How about the speed of Andy Mason, a defensive lineman, after running down Malaulu, the quarterback.
238-pounder, and he was pounding. So the loss is back to the Arizona 47, and Miller comes in to punt. Kaufman goes in to return it. 4th punt for Miller. Another good one. Getting it for the sideline and knocks it out of bounds. They give him a heck of a mark on it all the way back inside the 12-yard line.
This guy is unbelievable.
It's a 41-yard punt, no return. And it's marked just short of the 12, just outside the 11. Next Saturday, we've got doubleheader action here on ABC's College Football. We start the day at noon Eastern Time with Illinois at Michigan. And then following that, you've got a whole bunch of regional matchups. You got Arizona and USC, Syracuse and Boston College, Ohio State and Indiana, and it goes on to Georgia, Auburn, and Colorado, Kansas. You might also want to check your pay-per-view cable operator and see what he offers if one of those games is among your desires for next week. Jay Barry going anywhere. Waldrop, I tell you, he's all over the football field, and he's the nose tackle.
Yes. Two guys were trying to block him, and he still got out there and made the play. Here's Waldrop, number 92, right over the center. Watch as these two guys are going to try and block him, the center and the left guard, and he still bounces down the line. Gets a piece of it.
Second down and 10. Brunell rolling out. Pass is incomplete. Pass was intended for Bjornsson, Eric Bjornsson, and it was spoiled by Keyshawn Johnson. And so it is third down and 10.
Take a look at the Arizona defensively in the nation. First against the run, second in scoring defense. They're fourth in total defense, and they're fifth in turnover margin. They certainly are playing up to that today, although they have given up some rushing yardage.
Third and 10. Passes away down the middle. Nobody near it. And it's 3 and out for the Huskies. They'll punt it again. Vaughn now stands back around the 45 with Verdell having to go back into his end zone to punt this one. Right now it's Josh Miller who is moving the ball for Arizona toward the Washington goal line. Verdell's kick is a very high kick, forcing Vaughn to go across the field to the 43. A terrific move to get loose. And he's finally knocked out of bounds over on the sideline. So Arizona's going to have the ball around the Washington 48-yard line to get a bit of a ruckus going on over there. But all of the action was on the sidelines, and the Arizona kids were all pumped up, jumped right in the middle of everything. Well, let's see if there is a flag on it. There's one thrown right now. Very well could be on Arizona. Or it could be on Washington because one of the Huskies did hit him out of bounds.
That was a great move by Vaughn up the sideline.
It really was, wasn't it? Good punt, 45 yards with a 9-yard return. Personal foul, it's against Arizona.
Right there, the return, and all the people and all the yardage on the field were set up to our left side. Vaughn knew that, and if he could just get by Johnson. I don't see a personal foul yet.
Well, it may be right there. It looked like number 7 came over and grabbed him.
Oh, there it is. There it was.
There it is. Somebody with a Arizona player threw a punch.
You see Dick Tomey right there going right after the man, too, on the right side of the screen. That's the last thing you want to do when you don't have much offense and you play field position the whole ball game, and you want your punter to help work you down the field. Play defense and special teams, and you lose 15 yards on a cheap shot like that.
Stories in this ball game is in the second line of that graphic, where Arizona started a possession first and goal at the Washington 4 and got nothing out of it.
They're like a counterpuncher. They just keep waiting for an opportunity, waiting. They got one on the second possession on the 4-yard line and fumbled it away. 5 possessions, 4 times they've been 3 plays and out.
After the dead ball foul, personal foul, it's 1st and 25. The ball comes back to the 37. Mala'ulu throws down the middle. The pass is complete to Troy Dickey. That's his second catch of the ball game, and he picked up about 15 yards on the play. So Dickey now, a big man at 6'3", 221, is finding some room.
First down passing. Not exactly what Arizona wants to do, but if they can't run, which they have not been able to, you're going to get the best protection on first down, allow your wide receiver some time, and Dickey does have some ability.
Corner Josh Moore had to make the tackle on him. The tight end, he is not a tight end, but he's tight inside. Hand off to Billy Johnson. Can't get his feet under him. Picks up a yard on the carry. You're looking at third down and 9 now for Arizona. Time remaining in the first half, 7.5 minutes, as you see what the top 10 has been doing. And Boston College is the loser among the group so far. Lost soundly and roundly to Notre Dame. 54-7, even though it's an academic as to the ultimate outcome. Mala'ulu's got some room to run, but he's taken down at the 40, and that is a couple of yards short of the first down. You can't become totally absorbed and leave him alone because he is a pretty good runner.
Mala'ulu has had his ups and downs. He is a fifth-year senior, and most of his downs, I mean, when he's played Washington, he has had his downs. He has not played well against this pressure style of defense. In fact, last year, Arizona was beaten 54-0. Mala'ulu had 6 turnovers.
Well, they stood out there and looked at each other, and the signal came in, and Mala'ulu looked back at his head coach, and finally they decided to call a timeout. And they apparently want him to try for it on 4th and 2. 150 years. Dave Burns wants to make sure you know that now, Grease. Takes 150 years to grow an arm.
Grow an arm. I heard coming in from the airport the other day that it only took 50 years to grow an arm. He's adding. Fully grown. Okay, fully grown.
You also can't water them, so you can't put them in your front yard and water them either.
Well, I'm sure that Don James and Jim Lambright, defensive coordinator, have warned his troops about the trick plays that Dick Tomey likes to use in situations just like this.
Well, they got the punter in, Miller. Now let's see who's up there behind the center.
They had a trick play against Miami off a punt situation. They used one against Stanford.
You got Heath Bray, the backup quarterback.
Well, he's one that's involved in a lot of them.
Well, he's standing there. He's the third man. It goes, however, on a bounce to Miller. And Miller knocks it out of there and knocks it into the end zone. And he was angling it, for he wanted to knock it into the corner. But when the ball came bouncing back to him, you can do the best you can with it.
Well, Washington made up a special reel of trick plays that Dick Tomey has used in the past. And I'm sure that the possibility existed that Tomey put the play on, a trick play, and said, if it's not there, check it off and just punt the ball away.
Alabama, one of the unbeatens. Texas A&M, another of the unbeatens, both of them winning. And there's your final on Boston College, Notre Dame. All right, here comes Washington, first down at their own 20. Roll out. Lob almost intercepted. Almost picked off by Jarrett, number 88. Sean Jarrett jumped up, had it in his hands, and was so intent on knocking it down that he couldn't readjust his instinctive move to catch it.
And offensively, you hate to give that one away because that play was wide open. And he did have some time. He could have waited for Jarrett to commit himself and just kept running because the receiver, the fullback, was going to stay open for a while.
Brunell is 5 of 13 so far for 42. He goes the other way with it. The pass is completed over there to Damon Barry. And Barry makes the catch, but they are short of the first down. Damon Mack, who made a couple of those hanging catches last week, didn't make the trip. And one of those times he was hung out there and he got clobbered in the rib cage and he punctured a lung.
Yeah.
The ball is now 2 yards short of the first down marker, and it's third down. Kaufman won't get it. Fumbled the ball, and Arizona's got it. Somebody came in late, slammed a helmet on it. It might have been Spurlock. The ball came loose, and the Wildcats have a break.
Take a look at the infighting in the line of scrimmage. Runs into his old man right there. His old man knocks the ball loose. There is just nothing there. At the bottom of that pile is Waldrop, number 92. 2 big turnovers going now against James's Huskies.
And it's first down Arizona at the Washington 28-yard line. Billy Johnson up the middle. Billy Johnson to the 15-yard line.
Arizona wanted to try and run up the middle, up the middle. They said the Washington defense is a perimeter defense. They are upfield and aggressive. There'll be 5, 6, 7 times you try the middle, nothing to be there, and then maybe you'll pop one just like that one.
First down at the 15. Try it again. Don't go to the well too many times because Big Dave Hoffman slammed him down for a 2-yard loss.
Those 2 last plays are a perfect example of what Dwayne Aquina, the offensive coordinator, was talking about. You'll go, you'll go, you'll go, nothing to be there, and then you'll pop something in there. There's Aquina right there, the offensive coordinator. Went to the University of Washington and roomed with Warren Moon.
Second down and 12 from the 17. Griffith, the tight end, back in there as a blocking back with Levy. It's Levy, and he's taken down, and again, it's a linebacker, this time James Clifford, number 53, who knocks him down.
Clifford intercepted that pass last week against Stanford and ran it back for a touchdown. Arizona inside the 20.
Perry Vaughn, the wide receiver for Arizona, was the man who threw the punch in the melee on the sideline a while ago. He has been ejected from the game. That's why he's not out there.
That's a big blow. He was their punt returner.
Third down and 12.
Starting wide receiver.
Malagulu lets it go into the end zone. Pass intended for number 84, Dickey. And he was off the mark, and here comes McLaughlin. Steve McLaughlin, who missed against Miami and missed against Oregon State. It was a 1-point loss to Miami. It was a 14-14 tie with Oregon State. And now against number 1 Washington has a chance to give his team the first half lead. It will be a 34-yard try. 3:53 to play in the first half of a scoreless game. It's good. Flag. And a penalty flag. Hold it. No. Nope. Pick it up. No flag. 3-0. Arizona takes the lead at 3:49 to go in the first half of play. The towel. Somebody dropped it. Wasn't exactly down the highway, but it was good, and here's Jack.
Well, Keith, I'm with Tom Hansen from the Pac-10, and 2 stories, Tom, that are breaking. Tell us a little bit about the published reports that there may be some additions to the Pac-10 conference.
At this time, we've had no formal vote, and 10 votes are required. It has to be unanimous. We have not had any serious discussions of the nature which would have to precede any additional membership.
Now, about the situation with Billy Joe Hobert, when should we expect a ruling from the Pac-10?
We will be investigating that with Washington during the first part of the week. I would think by midweek we should have a determination of eligibility.
Well, always good to have you with us.
Thanks, Jack.
Kate?
There's a good little bit of pressure on that timing, too, because we are nearing the end of the season. You've got this coalition thing to fuss with. You've got all the bowl assignments and that. So the pressure's on. Napoleon Kaufman, Jay Barry. Here's Kirchhoff. Kicking it far beyond the playing field. And it'll come back to the 20. The average starting field position in the game so far at 3:49 to go in the first half has been Washington at 16 and Arizona 50. So the Wildcats special teams, particularly the punting unit and punt coverage, has given Arizona a huge edge in field position, but it is still only a 3-0 game as a result of the 34-yard field goal by Steve McLaughlin. Kaufman and Jones line up behind Brunell. Give it to Kaufman. Kaufman spins away from one, taken down short of the line of scrimmage at the 19. Guess who's there? Yep, number 18 for one, but the man who made the hit was Waldron. He plugged up the whole hole.
This defense and this crowd is just going to get louder and tougher the longer Washington doesn't do something to score some points.
2nd and 11. Pass is complete. Pass is complete to Mark Bruner, the tight end. First down, Huskies at midfield.
Take a look to the right side of your screen. It's the tight end, number 85. He's going to go straight up the field. Bowie, number 3, is looking at the 14. That's Bjornsson, the wide receiver. He was coming in for the wide receiver route, and Bruner goes straight up the field. That's a big play to get Washington out of the hole.
Never forget the old tight end, Grace.
Yep.
Option. That's a yard pickup for the Husky quarterback Brunell, and tonight stakes are high when Peter Falk stars in a Columbo movie special here on ABC. Death hits the jackpot. Pat Sajak guests as a TV psychiatrist who's the target of a killer on the commish. A mysterious Saturday. It is tonight on ABC.
So.
Oh, his name was Charlie. To the sideline, Damon Barry with the catch. Short pickup on the play. Interesting that against this Arizona team, you can sort of nickel and dime them with that short stuff, but they don't give you a whole lot of big stuff.
Not all the time. You're right. It's like Arizona getting that big run up the middle against Washington. They went back to it 2 consecutive times and lost yardage.
This ball resting at the 42. And it's 3rd down, and they're going to call it a yard, but actually it's more like a yard and a half. Brunell has a lot of time, and the ball is slapped down at the line of scrimmage by Brucey. Number 68, Teddy Brucey.
Well, here's another tough decision. What do you do, 4th and 1?
Well, it's more than 1.
I think you go for it, Keith. You got 2 minutes, a little over 2 minutes. You got a good defense, and Arizona offensively not that strong. Go for it. You got single coverage out on your right, top of the screen.
Goes that way and gets it. Shelley, and he is caught from behind by number 18, Brandon Sanders.
What a great play by Sanders, too, because that could have been a touchdown.
Well, that Shelley can run once he gets going.
Single coverage outside, good pass protection. Number 18 from the left side of your screen is going to come out and save Keyshawn Johnson, number 8, from a touchdown.
From the 27, Brunell's pass is on the money to Krolick. Krolick is down the sidelines, hit the chalk at the 15-yard line.
Arizona has not allowed a touchdown in the first half this year.
Both defenses have earned their pay in the first half, haven't they?
And Dick Tomey is right where he wants to be. His offense does not look good, but he doesn't care. He's up 3-0 with 2 minutes to play.
And timeout on the field. Washington's ball. First down at the 15. 1st and 10 with Arizona leading 3-0. Arizona has no more timeouts to work with. The crowd is 58,510. Second largest, only 5 less than the record, which was set back in 1982. Prudential halftime report coming up with John Saunders, where he'll run down the scores, and we've got Gino Torretta scheduled for a halftime interview. And I said it to Rudy Martzke the other day, I'll say it publicly, I think he certainly deserves a little more posture as a Heisman candidate because he's worked for it over a full period of eligibility.
He's been there for 5 years. They haven't had a lot of running game in Miami, and even when he doesn't do the positive yardage, he doesn't throw the ball up for grabs and have him return it the other way.
So now that we're clear on that, let's go on to a little did you know here with Dick Tomey, who picked up his wisdom along the way with Bo, Homer, Pepper, Dick, and Terry. First down at the 15 with Jay Barry in the backfield for the Huskies. Barry gets it, slips down after picking up about a yard. This is such good footing and such a quick field that I think the guys feel like it's almost like the rug stuff, the artificial. And so they try to make those quick cuts, and it's not quite that finite in making the grip with the shoes.
Well, it also depends on the type of shoe you're wearing. You just cannot wear the same shoe that you wear on artificial surface because you don't get the same traction.
But I think most of them have cleats. Well, I can't be sure of that. They have 2 timeouts remaining. The last time Washington was shut out in the first half of a ball game was against Oregon in 1988. Here's Jack.
Keith, you know, this has been one of those unusual seasons for Coach Dick Tomey and his team, the Arizona Wildcats. You know, early in the year, he lost one game. He tied at Oregon State. What he did following that tie is he met with each player. All 67 players were brought in individually because he feels that psyching his team, the psychological edge, is extremely important. After building up their confidence, he got together with their defensive coordinator, and they came up with a nickname for this unbelievable defense they've had. You know what they call it? Operation Desert Swarm.
There were a couple of television announcers that claimed that name too.
They were 1-1-1. They thought they'd be 3-0 when he called everybody in. They went down to play Miami.
Napoleon Kaufman checks back in. Brunell, a little quick drop, lets the pass go. Pass is caught by Barry. Damon Barry is wrestled down at the 8-yard line by Keyshawn Johnson. And the clock stops. Now it rolls at 1:35. They have 2 timeouts remaining, and they're not going to take one here.
Arizona's opponents, what they've done inside the 20.
3rd down and 3 for Washington. 3-0 Arizona leads. Brunell's pass lobbed into the end zone. Shelley can't get it. It'll be 4th down and 3.
It's a low percentage pass, but this is especially to a freshman, a true freshman, but that's what a pressure, good defense like Arizona has forces you to try.
Travis Hansen is into the ball game now to try the field goal for the Washington Huskies. The younger brother of Jason, who is now with Detroit. It'll be put down on the 15, far hash mark, and Jason will hit a 25-yard try. Bad snap. Bjornsson picks it up, throws it into the end zone. Incomplete. Ball was either a bad snap or not handled. Bjornsson, a quarterback, and the quarterback rolled out. He's now playing wide receiver, threw a bullet into the end zone for Bruner, the tight end, and Mark couldn't come up with it. But it appeared to be a bad snap.
That's the 3rd major problem that Don James has had. 2 fumbles he has lost, and now an opportunity to put some points on the board.
Bruce Bailey, the snapper. And, well, that snap was a little off the mark, actually. It was low, but off the mark, and Bjornsson couldn't reach it.
It was away from Bjornsson, too. He had to reach to get it, and then once he did get it, he didn't have time to set it right.
Now Arizona probably will just run out the clock with a minute left and go to the clubhouse leading by a score of 3-0. So he had to reach out for the ball.
Yeah, he just couldn't get it up in time. Bjornsson is, or was, an ex-quarterback, is a wide receiver now. If he makes this play, the ball was just deflected.
Yep. Probably would have come back, though, with all kinds of people running around downfield. Washington spending a timeout. They've got one left, and the clock shows 49 seconds. It has been as we expected. Defense, defense, defense. That was the real first good offensive surge the Huskies had down the field, but it stalled when they got down to the 15 and had their first down snap from there. They were never really able to get it going north and south.
It has been all defense. If there's the storyline is total offense is big in favor of Washington, but the breaks have gone, the turnovers have gone in favor of Arizona, and that's what Tomey wants.
So Arizona has still not allowed a touchdown in the first half of this season. That's an impressive thing. Mala'ulu is the quarterback. Huskies have one more time they can stop the clock. Hand it off. That's Billy Johnson running it. And Johnson comes up with a big play. Runs out to a first down at the 23-yard line.
Up the middle. Their best chance for a big play running is up the middle, not wide because of the perimeter pressure defense by Washington. From behind the defense, far 75 is blocked. Palcoa at 21 is the free safety. He misses the block, or the tackle, excuse me.
And so on first down, with time running out now, 23 seconds. Mala'ulu drops back, quarterback draw, and picks up some gain of about six yards up to the 29. And they're going to let the clock run out. Huskies are headed for the clubhouse. Arizona can't stop it at halftime. It's Arizona 3. The top-ranked Washington Huskies and defending national co-champions, nothing.
ABC's College Football, brought to you by Honda.
It's been a defensive struggle. Keith Jackson, Bob Greasy, and Jack Arute with you all. And here are some of the highlights from the first half of play. And obviously the highlights are kind of a scarce commodity in a game like this. But Arizona had the ball first down and goal from the Washington 4, and on their fourth down try here, Mala'ulu trying to get outside. Looked like he either wanted to pump fake or even throw the ball, and in the process winds up losing it. Huskies recover it, and Arizona was turned away. Then the University of Washington had an opportunity with Shelley going into the corner as Brunel lifts one softly into the desert air, but he can't track it down. Good coverage on the play by number 27 for the Wildcats, Morrison. And then the botched snap where Eric Bjornsson couldn't pick it up and put it down for Travis Hansen to tie the score at 3-3 at halftime. Bjornsson picked it up, threw it into the end zone, hit a tight end with it, but he couldn't make the catch. And so that's how we wound up here at halftime. 3-0, Arizona leading.
First half stats, Arizona not doing much. 3 first downs, only 83 yards in total offense, yet they lead 3-0. And total yardage for Washington 184, but they had 2 turnovers and that one botched field goal attempt to keep them off the board.
Standing back is Chuck Levy for Arizona, a tailback and option quarterback. Waiting to kick it off is Travis Hansen. junior out of Spokane. High, deep kick goes well into the end zone and bounces beyond the field of play, and Arizona will come out first down at their 20.
Take a look at the left side of the possessions for Arizona. They got the ball in the second possession on the Washington 4 and didn't score, and then on the Washington 48 and had to punt, and then the Washington 28 and finally got a field goal out of that. Mala'ulu only 3 of 5 and 33 yards. Johnson leads the rushers, and Dickey with 2 receptions. Leading tacklers, Fontaine with 4.
They open with Levy and Johnson behind Mala'ulu in the backfield. Terry Vaughn, a wideout, ejected for fighting and a personal foul in the first half. Johnson tries the middle of the line, and the door is shut down pretty quickly there. They may give him the advance of a yard on the play. Running right into the middle, and he came to get acquainted with Mr. Messrs. Farr, Fontaine, and a pair of Hoffman.
Here's what Washington defensively has done in this ball game. They've allowed 3 points. They've had 3 sacks. They've taken it away 1 time, and 3 times and out. They have done that 5 times, forced Arizona to run 3 plays and punt it away.
Dickey, big man, number 84, wide to the bottom of the picture. He's been the primary target for Mala'ulu when he has thrown the ball. He hands this on a little delay to Levy. Levy trying to get outside, and James Clifford will have none of it and brings him down at about the 23-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and about 7.
Again, Arizona trying to run all of their running plays right up the middle. That was a little delay or a draw, but still inside the tackles, nothing wide.
You saw that Alabama was leading 17-5 over LSU. Another great defense there, and one of the undefeateds. A&M still in the ball game, trying to stay undefeated. So here's 3rd and 7. Mala'ulu runs into trouble, throws the ball into the ground. Incomplete forward pass. It'll be 4th down. And the man celebrating the most is D'Amico Farr, number 75. And so Arizona's Josh Miller, who has been outstanding. He, in this ball game, has had punts of 51, 68, 30, 41, and 40. And the short one was a good one because it was killed deep. Napoleon Kaufman waits for it, standing back at his 35. So the word's around, be careful with Miller. Kaufman fumbled one to give Arizona that great scoring opportunity back in the first quarter. He gets it very high. This one, however, is lower, and Kaufman may have a chance. Missed by 1, but the second wave got him.
Take a look at Washington's first half possessions. I showed you Arizona had the ball in Washington territory. Look on the left side. They started on their own 20, 14 to 20. Nothing outside their own 20 have they ever started their own possession. Brunell was 11 of 21. Kaufman had 9 rushes for 43, and Barry led the receivers. Waldrop led the tackles along with Sanders.
For Washington, Brunell sets up, hands the ball to Napoleon Kaufman, and Kaufman is taken down by Rob Waldrop, number 92. He's only a junior. Correct myself, I called Marco Farr D'Amico. Well, I got screwed up. That's what I did.
Well, it's been a defensive game. What's the Arizona defense done? They've not allowed any points, but no sacks. They've taken it away twice, and 3 times and out. They've forced Washington to do that 4 times.
The Washington offensive front has been able to knock Arizona off the line of scrimmage. They just haven't. Here comes Waldrop pursuing Brunell. Brunell's pass good to Kwolek. The ball is caught up at the 37-yard line for a first down. Not quite a first down. They get back 3 yards, 4 yards short of it, actually.
He's in the slot, a little out and up. Sanders, a strong safety, covering him, and a nice job by Kralik to keep 1 foot in bounds with possession of the ball.
He could not make his turn. You saw the problem that he had because he was running out of real estate, and now you're looking at 2.5, 3 yards. And it's 3rd down. Pass complete. Shelley has a chance. Down he goes at the 31-yard line. Brought down by Keyshawn Johnson. Give Johnson a big play. Without Johnson making a big play, He scores.
Here he is over here. Yep, I'm going to slap this guy upside the head again. There he is. He's going to come across the field. Watches it. The linebackers, some of them are going to blitz. Comes all the way across the field. The man covered him and gets lost in the traffic. And that is the first big play in a long time for Washington.
They could not block Keyshawn Johnson, and he takes him down. Brunell, little play action, gets some room, throws it toward the end zone, and throws it beyond the end zone. Damon Barry was the man down there, but he could not track it down. It was too long. Here's Jack.
Well, Keith, Don James was very quiet in the locker room. What he told his team is, gentlemen, you're lucky that you're not down by 14 points. He also said that while he's happy with the passing game, he says if we don't establish a running game, we're going to be in trouble. I asked him on the way out of the locker room what he would try and do. He said, we'll stay with the passing game, but we need to work on the running game. That's what he wants to see in this third and fourth quarter.
Second down and 10. Brunell pulls it down and takes off, gets around the corner, going down the sidelines, and he's on the chalk and out of bounds. And he took a lick out of bounds, and he was hit by Daryl Morrison well out of bounds. So that should get a penalty flag, though at the moment I haven't seen it.
There's a penalty marker on the field.
He wants to throw to his right side, our left, and everything is busy over there. Now he gets around Jarrett, 88. That is a late hit right there, out of bounds.
There's the flag. They finally found it. So the personal foul against Arizona is a big break for Washington. To give you an idea of what Don James meant when he said the running game was not working, Kaufman in his last 5 carries has been nothing, -1 a fumble, -1, and -2.
Take another look. You don't know where he stepped out of bounds. Obviously he's out there, and Morrison just really late.
That puts the ball inside the 12 of Arizona and a first down for the Washington Huskies. So they've got a pretty good threat going here to start the second half of play. Handed off to Matt Jones, the fullback. Jones will take it down near the 7. So he gets a good 4 yards on that carry. Just starting the second half of play. Arizona had the first possession, had to punt it, and now the Huskies are knocking on the door. Arizona leading by a score of 3-0. But that number 92 in the dark blue is something to watch at Walden. They go right back to Matt Jones again, and he powers the ball inside the 5, and here's a flag. Man coming in from the side, threw it.
On tackle number 3, Tony Brewery, and number 48,
Could be against Washington.
There's a penalty flag now.
Holding against the Huskies. So they hurt themselves.
Oh, that's a killer when you're inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, shoot yourself in the foot.
Well, especially against a defense that is so tough to run against and score against as Arizona. You get down there, you don't want to hurt yourself and help the defense.
So the holding call puts the ball back on the 15-yard line.
Here's a look at defensive coordinator Larry McDuff. He said this year we just simplified things. We're not doing so many things. We basically have one front, one nickel package, a lot of man, some blitzing, and we've got some corners that can cover.
Second down and 14 for Washington at the Arizona 15. Brunell gets time, throws, completes the pass to Barry, and Barry gets back inside the 10 to the 8-yard line, a pickup of 7 on the play, as Boyer, linebacker, brought him down. So Barry comes out and Kralik comes back with the play now. Coming up on 10.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. 3-0 Arizona. Huskies with a threat. This is the second time they've been down in this neighborhood. Last time a bad snap cost them a field goal try. Pressure coming. Brunell's pass is caught by Kaufman. Kaufman is down at about the 6. They got to go inside the 2 to get the first down, so out comes the kicking team. Field goal unit comes on as the Arizona defense again proves its mettle.
Screen pass from inside the 10-yard line. Surprising call there.
Now let's see if Bruce Bailey can get this one back. He's had trouble snapping that ball today. Good one to Bjornsson. Kick is up and good. So Travis Henson knocks it through from 24 yards. And 9:38 to play in the third quarter. We're tied at 3. Terry Vaughn, number 9 there, kicked out of the ball game in the first half of throwing a punch on the sidelines. Vaughn is the leading receiver for Arizona and also their kick returner. So with him out of the ball game now, Chuck Levy goes back to return the kickoff, with Washington having tied it on a 24-yard field goal, 3-3. Hanson's kick is way back into the end zone. There'll be no return. Arizona will come out to the 20-yard line. Well, it's San Francisco, the 49ers and the Atlanta Falcons down in the Georgia Dome at 9 Eastern time on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. Steve Young is proving that you can live as a quarterback and run the ball in the NFL.
Reminds me, Mark Brunell reminds me of a little bit of left-handed, you know, runner. A poor man, Steve Young, let's put it that way.
Well, when you belly up against Young's bank account after the USFL adventure, it's pretty substantial.
That's what I'm saying. They're quarterbacks and they're left-handed.
Yeah, Bill Daniels took care of that, didn't he? First down. Inside play, not much, a yard or so for Billy Johnson. Johnson is a junior out of San Jose, California. Looks like Wisconsin's bowl hopes for a postseason getting kind of dim. Illinois winning again. We'll see them next week against the Michigan Wolverines in the ball game that leads all of the action next Saturday here on ABC at 12 Eastern time from Ann Arbor. Second down, call it 8. They stay with Johnson, and he pops it out of there and gets a first down as Jaime Fields drags him down at the 36. Go back to the point made earlier that you keep working that middle, sooner or later something will happen.
Here, look at the white jerseys. They're all on the perimeter. There's no linebackers in the middle of the field. No linebackers in here, and he's just going to get right up through there once you get past the original line of scrimmage. There's no safety back there. And that's what they've been trying to do. A lot of the times there's nothing there, but every now and then you get something.
Antoine Carter in the backfield. He has the ball going wide. James Clifford can't contain him. He's got some daylight, and he's got another Arizona first down. Jamal Fontaine finally got a hold of him, but Carter flashing his speed on the outside run.
First time Arizona has done anything outside all day.
He is a sophomore out of Pacoima, California.
That looks like it might be getting you a little dizzy.
What's that?
Flopping that cheerleader back and forth.
Dangerous to me. From the 49, first down for Arizona. Give it to Carter again, a little delay. He got away from Fontaine that time, and he picks up 7 yards. Clifford brought him down, and right now Arizona looks like the quicker team. It might be fair to say that both offenses ought to be fairly fresh. They haven't run very far today.
Well, I think they just got together at halftime and decided throw out all these running plays that we know aren't good, pick out a few that may work, and let's go out and try them in the second half.
Carter and Johnson in the backfield. This is Carter. And he's got a yard, that's all. That leaves him at least 2 yards short of the first down. 3-3 tie with 7:20 to play in the third quarter.
The Huskies in the nation tied for second in scoring with Arizona, and they are second in turnover margin. They had a bad opening game of the year, and since then they have been very, very tough.
1 out of 9 on third down conversions. They need 2 yards on third down. Mala'ulu lets it go. Taylor is out there. The pass is incomplete. Defending Walter Bailey. Pass is incomplete. Kerry Taylor, freshman out of San Diego, bagging the case. Won't get the call. He short hopped it. So it'll be 4th down. Oregon looking pretty strong, and Washington State folded up last week against Oregon, and they're not doing much this week against Arizona State. And they don't show punt here because they haven't got a punter, and now somebody said, hey Josh, we need to punt the ball. We're in punt formation. Hey Josh.
First wrong thing he's done all day.
They waste a timeout at 6:47 to go, third quarter. Josh Miller was not involved. It was a Tommy trick, and they forced Washington to call the time. And as Miller came trotting on at the last moment, the Huskies, realizing that something was afoot, spent the timeout because Bray, the quarterback, number 14, backup quarterback, was the man involved there, and he would be the man around whom such a trick play would revolve. Tomy's got a book full of that kind of stuff. High hanger. They're going to try to kill it, and they don't get it. It got into the end zone. My goodness. They had that thing down inside the 5, and 3 guys can't get their hands on it. And Washington will get it out at the 20. At the conclusion of the game, we'll pick a Chevrolet MVP from each team in the 22nd year through the Chevrolet Scholarship Program, $1,000 donated to the General Scholarship Fund to help those who need some help. So the Huskies get a big break. Instead of having the ball on the 1 or the 2, they're up on the 20. Thomas is in the backfield. Kaufman has the ball. And he has 8 yards on the carry. Jay Barry, who's coming off of a broken foot, playing quite a bit today, played some last week, but Bean O'Brien is still hobbled with a bad hamstring and has been virtually the whole season.
He's missed almost the whole year, and that's been you know, that's something that's really gone unnoticed a lot because of the emergence of Kaufman. Kaufman has just picked it up and really carried the load.
2nd down and 2. That's Thomas, the fullback, and a first down to the 31. A fellow named Jim Hoffman down in the bottom of that pile up along the line of scrimmage. He plays shoulder to shoulder with Waldrop and Jimmy Hopkins, Teddy Bruschi, and there a lot.
I think the rest of the nation and the Huskies and Pac-10 are finding out what Miami learned a lot earlier in the season. This team is tough.
From the 31, Brunell rolls it out, gets it go downfield for the tight end Bruner, and it is incomplete. He was covered on the play by number 3, Bowie. Here's Jack.
Well, Keith, I got a special delivery today for some folks in Seattle. They've come up with a brand new shirt. It actually commemorates the big debate this year as to who's number 1, Sebastian the Ibis or the Huskies. Now, one of the things I want to remind people is the way things are going right now, these shirts may be out the window by this afternoon.
15 out of 27 and 170 yards now for Brunel in the ball game. 2nd down and 10. Pass is caught by Jason Shelley. He's taken down by Morrison at the 37-yard line. They've got to go to the 41 to get the first down. Washington 3 out of 12 in 3rd down conversions. That ball is thrown out of bounds. He was trying to get it to Shelley, and Shelley was covered by Morrison. No chance. I mean, Morrison was inside his shirt, and the Huskies have to punt. They've got Bowie going back now with Vaughn out of the ball game. Tony Bowie goes back to return the kick for Arizona, the punt. 3-3 tie, 5:18 to go in the 3rd quarter. 10 Wildcats along the line. Wardell gets it out, does not get it to turn over. That gives Bowie a little room from the 16, and he is walloped. Taken down by number 22, looked like for Washington. Could be Matt Jones, the fullback, unless they have a double number. Athletics at the University of Arizona bear down stems from John Button Salmon, student body president, varsity athlete, killed in a car wreck. The last thing he said to the coach, Pop McHale, at the time was, "Tell the team to bear down." The memorial to Salmon stands in front of the McHale Arena here on campus. Chuck Levy is the tailback for Arizona as they come up with a first down possession at the 23-yard line, and the ball was snapped by El Mashtub to the quarterback Mala'ulu because they had a Husky in the neutral zone, and they just snapped the ball and they dinged him, I think, for 5 yards.
Offsides, defense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
I'm going to send along our get well wishes to our good friend Dick McPherson in a hospital in New England.
Yeah, I was going to send him a cactus and remind him that was the only thing I knew that was tougher than he was, but I couldn't find a cactus tough enough. Dick, get out of that bed going back. World misses you. Need you.
Yeah, get well soon, Dick.
First down and 5 from the 28 of Arizona. This is Levy. And Levy is knocked down by Dave Hoffman, and let's check in with John Saunders.
In Washington to Arizona State and Washington State. This is Kevin Galbraith, 9-yard touchdown run as the Sun Devils have jumped in front of number 25. It's 10-0 in the 2nd quarter. Keith.
Thank you, John. Carter comes back, and Levy leaves at tailback. This is a 3-3 tie. The time remaining there, you see, just less than 4.5 minutes. It has been a war between these two defenses. Carter was hit at the line of scrimmage by Mike Elwalico, sophomore out of Seattle, number 88. But he couldn't arm tackle him, and he wound up picking up about 2.5, 3 yards and moves to a 3rd and 1 situation. That really should be Mala'ulu. But most sports announcers can't do that in a hurry.
Come on, George.
3rd and 1. Billy Johnson looks like he's got a first down.
On the tackle, number 75, DeMarco Farr, and number 54, Dave Hoffman.
And big number 72, Vince Smith, is in there on the right side of the line now, and that's where he went, the 360-pounder. He got right in behind him and Warner Smith, the 283-pound sophomore guard. Man, that's a bunch of stuff on that one side of center, isn't it?
That's why they run the ball. Their living is running the football, not throwing it.
On first down, Mala'ulu lets it go. The pass is off the hands of Kerry Taylor. He was in front of Walter Bailey and was open, but the ball was not there. Next Saturday, we start the day, Illinois at Michigan. And that's at 12 noon Eastern time. And then comes a whole bunch of regional games of interest. Arizona, USC in the Pac-10, Boston College and Syracuse. BC took a whipping today. They'll probably be mad as a hornet next week. Ohio State and Indiana. Georgia, Auburn. That's always a big one in the South. Colorado, Kansas. Check on your ABC station for the game for the free television coverage. Call your local cable operator if you're interested in pay-per-view of what game he might have. That play is good for about 2 yards with Chuck Levy carrying it. Chuck is a sophomore out of Compton. And remember this, that he is a pretty good option quarterback and was all the way through high school. And played option quarterback here last year.
Arizona's style offensively, as you've noticed as you've watched this ball game, is run the football. They're 9th in the conference in passing. They're 4th in rushing. Mala'ulu is 8th in the conference in passing statistics.
Mala'ulu getting pressure from the backside, throws to Billy Johnson out of the backfield, has a first down. He's knocked out of bounds up at the Arizona 47-yard line by Walter Bailey. So it is another first down for the Wildcats.
That's only the second reception by Johnson of a pass this season. Mala'ulu is not a graceful thrower. He's ambidextrous. When he came to Arizona, they said, I think it's best if you just throw one way or the other. He chose to throw left-handed. His experience, his toughness make him what he is. He's a 5th-year senior. Not a real fluid thrower, but a real competitor.
Double wide, top of the picture. Dickey is at the bottom, and Carter's the tailback. And he's got the ball. He's hitting the backfield, and he's taken down 2 yards short of the line of scrimmage by DeMarco Farr.
Take a look at number 54, the linebacker, just slicing in.
Just overran him a bit.
Yeah, he didn't know whether the quarterback had the ball or the back, so he saw the quarterback didn't have it, so he grabbed it, the back.
Second down and 12. That was the 7th tackle for a loss for the Huskies as the whistle stopped things. No play. And time remaining third quarter, 1:52.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
That'll make it second down and 17.
Dick Tomey had a bunch of players coming back. In fact, 18 starters returned from last year's ball club. Had a lot of injuries last year. A lot of young people to play, and as often happens when you have injury and other people have to play, the next year you really benefit from that.
It's been a tough week for Don James. Huskies have 6 men up there right now. Mala'ulu gets away from the pressure and takes off. Big play for the Arizona quarterback all the way to the Washington 35-yard line. There was nobody in the middle of the field defending.
When you have a blitz, you kind of open yourself up. Here are the 2 linebackers right in here, in this side right here. They're going to blitz. Now watch when they blitz, there'll be nobody. If the quarterback can avoid all the penetration, now there's nobody in the middle of the field.
DeMarco Farr had to come out of the lineup, banged up on the play. Billy Johnson runs right into that hole, but there's still no room there.
Arizona in the Pac-10. Notice that they're 8th and 9th in total offense and passing offense, but that's Dick Tomey doesn't want turnovers, wants to be safe, conservative, play defense and your kicking game.
Trevor Highfield is in there at the nose tackle position, replacing Farr. Second down and about 9, and Mala'ulu with a lot of time lets it go down the middle, and it is incomplete. Tip drill, he threw it in there. There was one receiver, Dickey. There were 4 white shirts, and they don't quite come up with the interception.
Yep. He looks to his right side, and Pau'akoa, 21, gets, now Pau'akoa comes back. It's a poorly thrown ball that could have been intercepted on the rebound.
Yeah, Shane tipped it, hoping that somebody would be able to run under it.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it. Farr is now back in the lineup for Washington. It rests just short of the 33 on the Husky side of the field. And it's 3rd down and 8 for Arizona. That's the tight end Griffith in motion. Pitch the ball to Levy, trying to get outside. He does! And he is brought down from behind by James Clifford, but he has a first down.
Not exciting, but they control the ball. Arizona control the ball, keep the ball away from the other team.
20 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter. First down. Ball is on the Washington 22. Carter gets to the 20. That's going to do it for the 3rd quarter of play. A 3-3 tie. Back with the 4th quarter after this message and a word from our ABC station. 15 minutes left. 3-3 tie. Arizona, number 12 in the country, threatening number 1 Washington. This is Arizona's best offensive possession of the game. They started back on the 23, and this is their 13th play. And they have it 2nd down and 8 from the Washington 20. They give it in the middle to Billy Johnson, and he pops it down to the 10-yard line, and a first down for Arizona.
Right up the middle again. Linemen are crossing. Nobody makes the play. Patience, patience, patience. That's what Arizona offensively has had all day long.
Ball is a half yard short of the 10, which means they could get their first down without scoring. Carter in the backfield. Griffith, the tight end, back there in motion to block for him, going that way. Carter is going to have a yard to the 9. Taken down by Dave Hoffman. This is the 2nd time that the Washington defense has been asked to stop Arizona down close. First time back in the 1st quarter, they did it from the 4. Billy Johnson, the fullback, 3rd down and 8. They try Johnson in the middle. He bounces off a man and picks up 2 more yards on the carry. And now they'll bring up the 3rd down play. The possession was just inside the 11 on first down. So call this one 3rd down and 6.
Now, if you're Arizona, you don't want to do anything silly. You want to make sure you can get that 3 points. I mean, they're conservative by nature as it is. 3 points in this game could be huge.
Heemsbergen took off his helmet, and the quarterback is headed for the sidelines, and so Arizona spends a timeout. They have 2 remaining and 13-19 to play in the game. Pima Air and Space Museum here in Tucson. That's the Blackbird SR-71, fastest airplane ever to carry men. It was a very prominent and almost mysterious figure for a long time in the U.S. arsenal. It's now in the museum. All right, you see those numbers, 17 plays, 7.5 minutes for that Arizona possession. Jay Kirchhoff kicking it off. Napoleon Kaufman now. The Huskies have the sun at their back. It's way back into the end zone. There'll be no return of that. So once again, the Huskies have to start at their 20.
Special teams, their kickoff men put the ball out of the end zone. Their punter backs you up. Here's a look at the stats after 3 quarters. The plays are almost even. The first downs are almost even. Total yardage still in favor of Washington. And time of possession swung over to Arizona.
Jay Barry lined up behind Matt Jones. Jones with the ball, 2 yards. Jim Hoffman, 97, the first man on the tackle. This is Washington, 2nd down and 8 coming up.
Huskies have 14 straight wins in the Pac-10 and have outscored their opponents. They have 22 straight wins overall.
12 minutes to play. 6-3 Arizona. Swing it out to Barry. There's a man out there to cover him. That's number 18, Brandon Sanders, and he makes the play. I'll tell you what, these people in that Arizona secondary are pretty good, aren't they?
They can move. The reason Arizona defensive is so good because they put pressure on with their front 4, and their back 4 can cover.
Another 3rd down try coming up now for Washington. 3rd down and 8, and they're only 3 out of 13 on the day.
The pressure is starting to mount on Washington. If you give the ball up, you may not get it back.
Fumble. Arizona's got the ball. Jim Hoffman comes out of the stack with it. Looked like Brunell never got the ball from the center as he pulled away. And number 1 has a big-time problem right now. 3rd turnover.
Larry McDuff, defensive coordinator. Looks like the center, Neville, may have stood up to block before he finished the snap. And therefore, the ball didn't get all the way back.
Arizona goes with Carter, tailback, and he is taken down behind the line of scrimmage by Tommy Smith, number 20. Loss of 2 yards on that play. Arizona's starting point for this possession will be the 20. And that's marked almost 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Turnovers will get you every time. Washington has turned it over 3 times.
Another field goal, make it a 9-3. And it would put Washington in position of having to score a touchdown in order to have a chance to win. Mala'ulu down the middle, and the pass is incomplete. Intended for Roderick Lewis, number 95. There was double coverage. And George has thrown that ball into a lot of white shirts all day.
Still had him, though, Keith, if he would have thrown the ball a little bit lower into the inside.
So it's 3rd down and 13. Kerry Taylor, top of the picture. Dickey, bottom of the picture. Levy's in the backfield. Mala'ulu back to throw it. Pressure coming. Passes away. Pass is caught. And short of the first down by Taylor, coming across the middle. He's taken down at about the 13-yard line, and he had to go to the 10. So it is 4th down. And what you going to do? 4th down and 2.
Let the clock run down. First of all, you got to milk the clock. We've got the lead. We've got the point. He's going to take a timeout, but I'm sure they're going to let the clock run down for a while first.
There it is. That leaves Arizona with 1 and 10:22 to play in the game. 6-3, the Wildcats. Steve McNair is in for a 30-yard field goal try. He has hit from 35. He has hit from 20.
If he makes this, Keith, this would force Washington to go for a touchdown and not just a field goal to tie the game.
Adam Grand holds it. Chad Ross snaps it. Got it. So the Arizona Wildcats have gone ahead by a score of 9-3 over the top-ranked Washington Huskies. The Huskies have 2 timeouts remaining. They've got 10 minutes and 18 seconds against the best defense they have seen in a long time. Tomorrow on ABC Sports, figure skating's champions and stars gracing the ice, special performances, unique exhibition by Brian Bortano, Sudafed Skate America. Then John Daly, Craig Stadler, and others are joined for a 9-hole Merrill Lynch shootout championship up in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. It's all here tomorrow on ABC Sports. Jay Barry and Napoleon Kaufman are back now, waiting, contemplating, and talking, standing as the shadows grow long at Arizona Stadium in Tucson. Arizona has had the ball for 21 of the last 24 plays in this football game. Jay Kirchhoff has consistently had the ball beyond the field of play. Getting a chance to run it back against his leg, it's been very difficult. This time they've got a shot at it from the 7. It is Barry to the 30 and out to the 32. So Kirchhoff doesn't get all of one, and suddenly Barry is able to run it back 25 yards. And the Huskies will start from the 32.
You just joined us. Mark Brunell has gone the entire way. Billy Joe Hobart is not here, suspended. He has played in every game this year, kind of shared the quarterbacking time, although since he has not started, he only got in a couple of series, but still, it's a little bit different flavor today for Brunell.
Well, they finally put the ball down. They get a freshman on the field, and they put it down at the 31, and that is Washington's best starting point of the ball game. Brunell back. Deep drop, goes down the middle. Pass good to Thomas, the fullback, and Thomas is belted at the 39-yard line for an 8-yard pickup. And I mean, he was flat popped on the play. Every time somebody has caught a ball, or every time somebody has been able to get more than 4 strides under them, they have been punished for.
Well, this has been a defensive game. There is no doubt about that. I mean, there has not been a touchdown scored, and the defenses have dominated.
Call it 2nd down and 3, really. It's quite a long 2. And go up front with Thomas, trying to roll off the stack and can't do it. And it's Jim Hoffman on the first hit underneath the pile. And Waldrop, number 92.
The defensive lines are beating the offensive lines. The defensive lines are better. The linebackers are filling the holes, and the defensive backs are better than the wide receivers.
It's 3rd down and 2 for Washington. first down. Bowie makes the tackle. Kralik made the catch. Moved the chains to the Arizona 48-yard line.
Here's Kralik here. He's just going to go down and hook to the inside. This time they go zone. They don't go man. You see the man over him, back away from him. He gets in between two of the defenders, and Brunell does a nice job of finding him.
Play action. Brunell lets it fly. It is caught. It is dropped. It's caught. It's caught. It's dropped. It's dropped. Barry and Sanders both had a chance to come away with the ball, and neither one of them did.
At the end of this play, he is open. Check it right here. He has him beat by 5 yards. If he could just get the ball out there. Both receivers are open, but Shelley was really open if he could have just gotten the ball out to him.
Second down and 10. Shelley catches, ball is in the air, intercepted. Intercepted by Keyshawn Johnson. And Arizona's got the ball back.
But Bowie makes the hit. Tony Bowie, number 3 at the top of your screen, is the free safety. He's just going to read what's going on. Now he's going to get over there. The ball's going to be caught, but watch Bowie. Bowie! And Johnson makes the easy interception.
It is ruled interception, not catch and fumble. And there's the defensive play made by DeMarco Farr on Antoine Carter behind the line of scrimmage, a loss of about 4 yards. Time, the friend of Arizona right now at 7:40 to play.
There's Jim Lambright, the second from the left. Defensive coordinator, 24 years at the University of Washington.
Still nothing there. Steve Hoffman takes Billy Johnson down. It'll be third down and about 12.
The late flag thrown by the umpire.
That normally means holding. Here's Jackaroo.
Well, Keith, on the sidelines of the Arizona Wildcats, they're beginning to smell victory. The offensive line coach, Charlie Dickey, was admonishing his entire offensive line. He said, gentlemen, we only have 8 minutes left when they went back out on the field. He said, to make the running game work, you've got to come off the mark quickly. Bury their noses in it. He said, we can win this thing, and you've got to believe that right now. The only thing he didn't say, Keith, was bear down.
Different generation. 9-3, Arizona leads. 7:20 now to play after the penalty is assessed. Moving the ball back to a second down and 23 for Arizona.
And primary in Mala'ulu and the offense is don't turn it over.
Use the clock. Runs it well out to about the 35. Third down, 16.
It's 3rd and 16. Their chances of picking this up with the style of offense that they have is probably not very good, but let's see what they do with the play clock as far as running down the game clock, using all the amount of time they have on the play clock. It's at the end of the field. Mala'ulu can see the clock. Now bad. 2 seconds, he snaps the ball.
Taken down right at the 35. And that'll bring in the punting team. James Clifford looking for a little more oxygen. 8th punt of the ball game for Josh Miller. Kaufman going back. Napoleon Kaufman been pretty quiet today. Most everybody offensively has been pretty quiet.
Yeah. Not a good day to be an offensive player.
Miller gets it out. My goodness, it's a dandy. All the way back to the 5-yard line. Kaufman fumbles it, picks it up, comes back to the 6. Ball rolling around. He almost lost it again. Arizona exulting. Napoleon Kaufman, second fumble under a punt today. It winds up a 63-yard punt. Napoleon Kaufman out of the end zone will get back to the line of scrimmage, and Brant Boyer will track him down and bring him down. Arizona right here with a very big opportunity to really kill Washington's hopes. 5 minutes coming up on the game clock. The Huskies are 94 yards away. Second down and 10. Arizona leading 9-3. Goodell's pass down the middle of that zone. Short gain. Brant Boyer makes another big defensive play for Arizona. So it is third down and 7. At least 7. Brunell now with a career high on that pass completion of 198 yards. He's hit 20 out of 35. Shelley checks into the lineup. It is third and short 8.
Single coverage out here on the bottom.
Goes underneath with it. They don't get the first down. Great play by Sean Harris. A great play by Sean Harris, number 49 on Jason Shelley. And so with fourth down, the clock running, 3:55, Washington sends out the punting team. It would be 4th and 3. Wardell standing back in the end zone. Chris Corral is back to accept the punt for Arizona, a wide receiver. Kick is out. Pretty good kick. Corral back at the 39. He ran right through a pack of Huskies. I mean, there were 5 of them down there, and he ran right through them. A 48-yard punt and an 18-yard return, and Arizona is at the Washington 43. 21 seconds to play in the ball game. The game summary, some of the highlights, some of the reasons for what we have. A 9-3 Arizona lead at this juncture of the game over the top-ranked Washington Huskies. And that punter Miller has been fantastic today. 47+ yards per punt. Now Arizona owns the football. First down on the Washington 43 with Chuck Levy in at tailback.
The Huskies have 2 timeouts left.
They give it to Levy, and he finds daylight over the left side and runs for what appears to be very close to a first down. They'll leave him a yard short of it. Put down at the 34. The Washington defense has been on the field much of the day. Both defensive teams have sold out today, played their hearts out, and they have shut down the other side's offense pretty much.
Well, neither offense has scored. I mean, we've had 4 field goals, but it's still in that. Arizona's offense in the second half has at least stayed on the field a little longer.
Billy Johnson tries for and is close to the first down. Depends on where they put it. Wait for the spot. Thrifty post-game report coming up. Scores and highlights across the country. It's too close to call. They'll bring the change in. Too much at stake. 2 minutes and 36 seconds to play in the ball game. So the Washington 22-game win streak is in jeopardy. The 14-game win streak against Pac-10 opponents is in jeopardy. It is a first down for Arizona. But this is one thing to remember. Even with a loss today, Washington can still win the Rose Bowl ticket by beating Oregon State and Washington State.
Don James needs a turnover. His defense leads the Pac-10 in taking the ball away. And Arizona offensively has given the ball up the fewest times of any team in the Pac-10.
So getting a first down on 2 running plays tells you the Washington defense, I think, is getting tired. Still full of fight, but they are getting tired. Great effort there by Farr.
They need the ball, and they got it out.
They have it. Nope. Man coming in from the side points the other way and say Arizona keeps it. But DeMarco Farr almost had him in the backfield and just couldn't quite get enough fingers on Levy's shirt tail.
It's been a long time since the Washington players have been in a situation like this.
Crowd of 58,510, which misses the attendance mark by only 5 people watching here at Arizona Stadium. I don't see but 3 cars on every. You look around town and there's not a car on the street anywhere. Those who are driving, you figure they're from out of town. 2:01 to play. Washington calls the timeout.
Made a big play for Arizona.
You got no chance of getting that back once he gets on top of it. This is Billy Johnson breaking big down to the 5 and down at the 4-yard line. First and goal to go Arizona at the Washington 4 with 1 minute and 54 seconds to play in the football game. And now it seems almost surely that the Huskies are doomed. They put the ball down at the 5 as Billy Johnson turns into big play running over the left side behind that same 360-pound offensive tackle Vince Smith. Johnson now has 95 yards in the game.
When you have to blitz and you have to go for the ball, sometimes you're going to give up big runs, and that's what happened.
On first and goal, Johnson. Just short.
Outstanding effort. Johnson with 3 or 4 guys holding on to him. Johnson is 5'10" and 197 pounds. Pauakoa 21. Hoffman 54. Fields is number 3.
Touchdown, Arizona. The celebration is on in Tucson, Arizona, with 48 seconds to play in the ball game. The Arizona Wildcats are on the verge of winning the biggest football game in their school's history. 16-3 over the top-ranked Washington Huskies.
Sneaks it across. 6 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, they were calling for Dick Tomey to resign. He had opened the season 1-1-1. He had tied Oregon State and lost to Washington State. He called every player, 67 players, in to talk to him. They went down to Miami. They barely lost to Miami, and they have not looked back since.
Defense, defense, defense. And I think you're going to see an awful lot of people showing up at coaching clinics out here in the West next summer. You look at all of the teams that are sitting there undefeated. They're all playing great defense, all playing the same kind of defense.
Well, there are 7 Pac-10 teams in the top 23 in the nation in the defensive category.
Kirchhoff kicks it off. 5-yard line. It is Jay Barry. Down at the 29-yard line. Here is your scoring summary of the ball game. McLaughlin, 35-yard field goal, 3-0 Arizona, second quarter of play. Travis Hansen, 24-yard field goal, third quarter, all even at 3. Steve McLaughlin, 20-yard field goal in the fourth quarter, 6-3 Arizona. And you just saw the touchdown, which came after the 30-yard field goal. And then Mala'ulu sticking it in the end zone. What I want to say about McLaughlin, he was the young man that all of the burden was on in the 1-point loss to Miami as he missed in the last second there. He was the young man that took the abuse and all of the pressure as a result of the 14-14 tie against Oregon State. But today, he has wrapped himself in glory, and the Arizona football history has been wrapped in glory. You see there the miss against Miami. And now the crowd is getting out of control and coming onto the field. They came bursting down out of the stands, feeling they have a right to celebrate, but not yet. There's still 33 seconds to play.
They're not used to this.
The Arizona players helping, assisting, if you will, some of the folks to leave the surface. But there's number 28, young Steve McLaughlin, who has taken a great big load off his back today.
This outcome would have been the same if Billy Joe Hobart were suspended or not suspended, whether he was here or whatever. It has nothing to do with the win that this Arizona team. They are the hottest team in the country right now.
33 seconds to go. Back goes Hobart. Hobart Brunell to throw the ball, but it's academic. At this point, it is 16-3, with Arizona leading by 13 points. Even a touchdown won't help Washington. So those are startling figures, I'm sure, for those of you who are joining us from other parts of the country. As you see, Arizona leading 13-3, but it just happened a few minutes ago when they got their first and only touchdown of the ball game. But it's 3 field goals by McLaughlin and 1 touchdown.
And it's been a great run for Don James and the Huskies. This is only a loss, and as you mentioned, if they win their next 2, they're still in the Rose Bowl.
They get a first down on that pass play, stopping the clock with 21 seconds to go in the ball game. But Washington can still make it to the Rose Bowl by winning their next 2 games, because this is their first loss of the season. And you see that Arizona is there with a tie for 1-1. That tie against Oregon State haunting them, and Washington beat USC. So if the Huskies win their next 2, they're on their way to the Rose Bowl and what apparently will be a shootout with the Michigan Wolverines. That'll be another first down. And I think Dick Tomey just got wet across the way as they dumped the bucket of cold water on him. You've still got 11 seconds to play in the ball game.
How about Arizona?
They will celebrate in Tucson.
They're knocking off the #1 team here, and they almost knocked off #1 Miami earlier in the year.
Lost by a point there. They're going to win by 13 here. Brunell running around trying to close the margin. He will step out of bounds with 4 seconds to play at the 38-yard line. Crowd coming back on the field again. They're trying to run him off the field. They're tearing down the goalpost. They're out of control right now. The officials can take this ball and take it out of play and send the teams to the clubhouse and declare the ball game over if they want to. They are always reluctant to do that. But if they feel that there is any danger to the people on the field, they can stop it. So 4 seconds remaining in one of the big upsets of this football season.
And that young man right there, Mala'ulu, last year they were beaten 54-0, and he had 6 turnovers. Today, no turnovers, and very instrumental in this win. And the players don't like this. Why can't they wait a little bit more to celebrate? Wait 4 seconds.
The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game for Washington. Number 75, DeMarco Farr, force in the middle of the defensive line. For Arizona, how could you not pick Josh Miller, the punter? Chevrolet donating $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements. Josh Miller had 8 punts. He averaged 47.4 yards per punt.
Defensive coordinator McDuff, along with Coach Tomey.
Looks like Mac got wet too, doesn't it?
Yep.
This will be the final snap. Pass is caught by Shelley, but he's taken down, and now the crowd can have the field. Your final score, Arizona 16, Washington 3. And today belonged to the defense. And now you know why they play the game.